but I'm now going to look at guidelines for good partnerships. And I'll first talk to the corporate sector, but then I'm going to talk to civil society as well. For the corporate sector to understand that money is not an end in itself, it is merely for the non-profit sector an enabler. The concept of social profit or social return on investment is not the driver. People in the non-profit sector don't do their work to be able to show that they've got 2 rand out of 1 rand expended. They do their work because they're passionate about a particular cause. So understand that money is merely an enabler. You need it, but it's not the end of the picture. Ensuring that your objectives dovetail and you're not forcing an organization to change course where it doesn't want to go or where it doesn't have the skill sets to go. Respect your partner's knowledge in its field of endeavor and in the community in which it works. And whilst sharing skills can be enormously helpful, there's no purpose in trying to micromanage a partner organization. You can move in if you are asked. Besides being bad manners to plow in, it can undermine what both parties are trying to achieve. Understand that social change takes time and immediate impact in the social sphere is unlikely. Make a contribution to overheads. We heard about 25% of corporates still don't do that. Yet they want professional service. Why is it that corporates throw out their own rules in how they operate when it comes to the non-profit sector? I was flabbergasted yesterday at that measurement workshop where we were told the CEO of the organization took no salary for 5 years. There's no pride in that. I don't think people in the non-profit sector should be without salaries. We're meant to be professional in what we do, and we should be treated professionally. Organizations can't function without overheads. Companies wouldn't dream of running without offices, equipment, marketing, staff. Each project has to pay its way in the organization, including oversight, governance, rental, supplies, and equipment. When a donor says to me, what is your name doing in this project? You're not running it, you're the executive director. I'll say, do you want oversight? Do you want a report? That's me. And it has to be paid for. It doesn't come out of fresh air. Make a contribution towards building the capacity of your partner organizations. No business would dream of eliminating staff training and resources from its budget. Don't be judgmental about salaries. There's no reason why people running NGOs should live on a pittance. Don't revert to the charitable paradigm and reduce your partners to beggars. Pay on time. Pay realistically. It is humiliating to use the power game because the funds come from the corporate entity. These organizations are enabling the corporate sector to undertake interventions they simply cannot do themselves. Be clear how you exit a relationship. A warning is not an exit strategy. Companies should open doors to other donors, provide training and capacity building and fundraising and development, contribute towards an endowment. If you have a long-term relationship, it's simply unethical to stop funding suddenly. Make a medium to long-term commitment. Organizations cannot make programs that work Organizations cannot make guarantees that their work will endure if they need to continually resubmit requests for support on an annual basis. This insecurity leads to job losses and an inability to plan for the future. Do your due diligence before investing in an organization. Ensure it's sustainable, that it has the skills required to undertake its projects, and that you're confident and have trust in its leadership. And again, I'm going to say, companies need to know their partners, and this should not be a paper relationship. Meet with a director, visit their offices. I can tell you the state of their working environment will tell you immediately if the organization is well managed or not. Don't go afterwards and say, oh, it's a mess. Too late. Go first. Understand that reserves and endowments are a good thing. The argument that if an organization has a reserve, it doesn't require funding is absolutely spurious. What it actually means is that the organization will be there to carry out its objectives if things go wrong. Because non-profit donor income is subject to the whims of donors, it is good practice to build a reserve and to see that organization through transitions. Donors who object to an organization's financial success are operating in a patronizing charitable paradigm. They expect professionalism, yet abandon their own business principles in the case of non-profits.